In this episode of the Caustic Rebel podcast,
we got those cartoons of Spiderman.
Yeah, we got those too.
You remember those? You remember those cartoons?
When Spider-Man came, I was like, okay, I'll watch Spider-Man. I guess it's the only thing that's on. But I would take one of those old campy Batman things with the sound effects any day. Something about the combination of how earnest the characters were, but they were also sort of willing to be obviously imperfect. I'm going to put in a plug for that original TV series there.
I happened to grow up right when Batman the Animated Series started coming out in 1992. I was like, this guy's really cool. Then you had... everything was Batman. I was just like, this is the greatest time to be alive.
Go, report. Got it. Hey, Tom, we got Conor McGregor. Like, I mean, are you excited?
Oh, this is awesome. I've grown a beard special for the occasion. I'm a big fan of the guy.
I can't even remember how it came up that we wanted to get him. You're like, we should get a guy like Conor McGregor. Have you heard that guy talk? You know, because fighting aside, like he also has this bigger than life persona and anyhow, he's in Toronto and he's agreed to a podcast.
And then we spent a couple of days.
Conor McGregor
is he on?
Entered the waiting room.
Oh shit! Okay, let's go.
Okay,
come on, we gotta get ready. How does my hair look?
Yeah. What do you mean? Okay, in 3, 2, 1. He's coming.
All right, there he is. Hey, Conor.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, if I can hear you, great.
Perfect.
So you're Toronto. We're not getting you at the wrong time or anything.
No, that's okay. I mean, I'm kind of on my own hours.
And you're in a studio right now?
Yeah, I'm part of a artist studio near my place, and it just happens to be an artist studio full of comic artists in particular, which is very niche.
Wow. So how would you describe the work that you do, and how long have you been at it?
Well, I would describe it as I'm a freelance comic artist, and that would entail comic book covers, custom commissions. I do custom portraits of real people as superheroes, and I am getting into comic books now. So I finished my first comic book a couple years ago, first complete one, and I'm going on to the second one as of last week. How long have I been doing it? I've been drawing since I was very, very young. And I started doing it full time though, right before the pandemic started. So I am talking like late December, early January of 2020. And
I'm going to give you a shameless promotion here, Conor. I've got a slide up, ConorMcGregorArt.com. That's your website. That's how I got at least knowledge of about half of what you do. And I have a fast motion animation of one of your superhero portraits. Do you mind if I show that?
Go for it.
Okay. But here comes a video. Hopefully.
Oh, that one, yeah.
So this guy, I love the dog. Apparently he was in one of those little wheelchairs and you made him into Super Dog.
Yeah, so this family, it's a father son duo. I don't know why the wife didn't want to be in it, but she paid me to do the dad and the boy and the dog. The dog has since passed away, but that's the third cover I've done for them. And she loves it because every year she can see her little boy growing, and so I put him in different Robin costumes because there's so many of them now. So every year it's a different costume for the dad as well, different Batman costumes. And this is one of my returning customers for the superhero portraits. So Yeah, that was my big ticket item back in 20, I believe it was 2021. And that still is something that people come back for.
And it seemed to me, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but late in that video, when you were adding the lighting, like that seems to be like somehow computer function. Like you can't, or am I wrong? Is that all by hand?
So the lighting is what you're referring to. That's the digital colors. It is technically by hand because I'm drawing everything with a digital pen. For the colors, I send this over by email to a colorist I work with in Toronto. She's very good at what she does, and she'll also digitally paint it by hand. But that's what you're seeing is the sped up process of her painting it.
So right now we have a one of your prints of Cyclops. So like I'm looking at the lighting on the biceps and the shoulders and stuff. Like, how's that done? It looks real. It looks like exactly what light would do if you shone
My
at it.
colorist is just really good at what she does. She
Okay.
is light years ahead of me. Like I'm
Yeah.
practicing with colors and there's so much. There's a whole science to it.
Yeah.
But she's so good with all of her clipping masks and layers.
I'm sorry about that. Hey Tom, can you hear us?
Yeah, I'm back.
Sorry, man. I thought I had this goblin licked, but apparently not. This is awesome. Like I think Tom and I are both amateur, superhero fans. You're Canadian. You do real interesting stuff.
Thank
Tom
you.
and I we're about to do a podcast on the topic of AI.
I'm curious on this subject, Connor. Do you see it as a threat or an opportunity?
I love this question. So the thing that has kind of backfired with AI, and this is where it has kind of turned into a blessing, is that it's so oversaturated the market, the art market, that when I go to conventions, and I know this because of conversations I've had with people, they actually are actively seeking out what
The
I like to
real
call
thing.
organic intelligence art online. If you try and like sell, mass produce, for example, Spiderman things on Etsy, right away, you're going to be shut down.
How do
Yeah,
you manage trademark stuff like in your prints? How does that work?
well, it can be a little gray,
Okay.
a little bit of a gray area.
I
It
don't
really
we can
depends.
take cut this out if you want.
If you want.
Yeah.
It really comes down to, as I understand it, mass producing. I have originals that I sell. They're one of a kind. Once they're gone, they're
Right.
gone.
Okay.
Only one exists on the planet. And that's considered fair use because
Okay.
you're not taking somebody's thing and just printing, and selling them
Yeah.
for, because at that point, they're either going to tell you to stop or they're going to say, get a license and give us our cut,
Yeah.
something like that. So I try and stay within those parameters. And one of the best places where you are allowed to do this is comic conventions. And
Ah.
DC and Marvel know that this happens, that fan art is sold. And they actually will use those venues, particularly the big ones like San Diego or New York, for sort of talent scouting opportunities.
That's
Mhm.
see now that just makes sense. Can I maybe a little bit of a change the subject? Tom, you mentioned Ted Joya and Connie, you mentioned, your long-standing relationship with comic books, and obviously it continues to today. So I had come up with this slide, what makes a superhero? And maybe we could talk about your favorites and why, but at least from my point of view, I do want to say that, like, I mean, the whole Conor McGregor was a sort of an accidental hook, but look at this guy. He kind of is like a superhero. It's very dramatic. Then you go to the WWE and they have like everybody's got this like this persona, and then WWE plays that good versus evil, which I think comes from this long tradition of the Lucha Libre, these morality plays sort of jazzed up. for the audience to watch. Oh yeah, the good versus evil, and they can sort of participate a little bit. I don't know, like there is a lot to the idea of the concept of the superhero. And what are your thoughts? And what is a superhero? Why are we fascinated? Why are you fascinated? And maybe what's your favorite? That's a
As
big.
far as what is a superhero, honestly, I've heard this question before, and I have never really put much thought or energy into it. I just
Okay.
kind of the image of a superhero I have always created in my head is a tall, muscular dude, or if it's a woman, maybe not quite so tall, but like definitely fit.
Yeah.
Strength is a huge factor.
Yeah.
I would imagine, what do the masses see as a superhero? Probably something that they wish they could be, like Superman, or like if you're triggered by something in the world today, what do you think about when that happens? You wish you could fix it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a man, you just want to find a solution, you want to fix it and do something about it. A lot of people would probably say, like, if I had Superman's powers, I would fix this in the world. So I would say, I kind of got off track there, but I mean,
All right.
I would imagine, if I could boil it down, it would probably be a superhero is someone that you wish you could be. I mean, why else would we
Yeah.
have created characters with
Yeah.
supernatural powers? And there are exceptions like Punisher and Batman and everything like that, but most of them have abilities we could never ever have. Why is that?
I'm noticing you're wearing a Batman hat there.
I think I just love Batman so much. Like, he's my favorite because I grew up in the 90s. The
Oh,
90s was a very special decade for Batman fans in particular. Like, it was the
Okay.
best decade to grow up if you were going to be a Batman fan, in my opinion.
I have an
Even
opinion. I
starting,
grew up in the late 60s and early
yeah,
70s, and we got reruns of Batman. Tom, did you get that in Calgary or whatever?
oh yeah. But
So
you know what? We got those cartoons of Spiderman.
yeah, we got
That's
those
what got me
too.
hooked. You remember those? You remember those cartoons? Saturday
Yeah, I
morning.
do, but I was always just disappointed at how we needed Connor working on him. I was like, we
Oh
needed
yeah.
more production value. I like that, like what was his the Penguin. He ended up being the manager for Rocky Balboa.
Oh, that
Uh,
was the Penguin.
yeah,
Oh,
wasn't
Burgess
it?
Meredith. That's
Yeah,
Burgess
I
Meredith.
think he was the Penguin.
Okay.
And anyhow, that Batman with his little his little sort of not skin tight uniform and his really
mm,
deadpan, like he was kind of goofy, but also super earnest. I love that, and I'm that is the basis of my long-standing love of Batman and the kapow, the campy
Yeah.
sound effects. I When Spider-Man came, I was like, okay, I'll watch Spider-Man. I guess it's the only thing that's on. But I would take one of those old campy Batman things with the sound effects any day. And it was
Yeah.
something about the combination of how earnest the characters were, but they were also sort of willing to be obviously imperfect. I don't know. So I'm a huge Batman fan, and I grew up before you there, Connor. So
mm, yeah.
I'm gonna put in a plug for that original TV series there.
Yeah, no, I'm well aware of that series because my dad loved it so much,
Yeah,
particularly the car. He was a mechanic. He
yeah,
loves
yeah,
that
yeah.
car.
3, 2, 1. Sorry again. You're dealing with rank amateurs if you haven't figured that out by
Well,
now. I'm enjoying this a lot, and what we were talking about.
Yeah, we were at what's my favorite and why, which is pretty clearly Batman. So
Yay!
mine wasn't my I picked him as my favorite not because I connected with the character on some real level. It was just I happened to grow up right when Batman the Animated Series started coming out in 1992,
Ah,
and that was a very dark, broody Batman. And I was like, this guy is really cool. And of course, then you had surrounding and after that, you had, Tim Burton's Batman, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin, and all of the comic books, all the spin-off shows from Batman the Animated Series, the new Batman Adventures, Justice League Unlimited, Batman Beyond, and then in 2004 they created the Batman and then Batman Brave and the Bold. Everything was Batman. And I was just like, this is the greatest time to be alive. So I was kind of obsessed, but it was really just because I grew up with him and I thought he was cool. And then after that, I kind of got more into his character and why Batman's Batman. And I thought that was really cool because he is just a regular human, not a regular human being, but he's a human
Yeah.
being. And apart from the animated series, he does actually go on to defeat supernatural beings and aliens and monsters and stuff. So it
Oh,
kind of brings them down to my level and makes it a little more graspable, if you know what I mean. So
even when I was a kid, that first TV series with the kitschy sound effects and all that was already old. You could already tell it was kind of oldie times. Like they weren't making them anymore. They were reruns. So I was a grown up going to graduate school in Boston, 1989. You can probably tell me this. Hollywood decided, we're going to make a Batman movie. And I think it was Michael Keaton. I'm Batman. Something like
yeah,
that.
yeah, Michael Keaton.
I don't know that movie went over all that well, but it was making a splash for the opposite reason that you're sort of talking about. Like, we didn't have a lot of Batman content, but everyone sort of knew about it. And then they were going to make another movie. That's pretty cool. And I'll admit, I was kind of excited. It was sort of like vintage even then.
Mhm.
Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm with you there on the Batman. I am not with you in keeping up with the layers upon layer of plot evolution. I'm still stuck in 1960 or whatever, but there's something there that I really appreciate. I think Tom, you're more Spidey guy. A
Yeah,
little
I'm
bit.
definitely more of a Spidey guy. And I mean, just listening to you guys talk about this, I wonder if to some extent or to a large extent, it really has to do with this cartoon that I used to watch. It's not Spidey himself. It's just that I developed a relationship with Spider-Man through
Yeah.
this cartoon that
Was that the one
coincidentally was.
that like was it probably the same one that we got in Saskatoon
Oh
in
yeah. Yeah, there was only one. Yeah, it had a really good theme song. Remember at the beginning?
Yeah.
Is he strong? Listen, bud. He's got
He's got
radioactive
radioactive blood.
Yeah, it was a really nice theme
Yeah.
song.
Oh, it's great. Like a streak of light, he
Yeah.
arrives just in time.
And I think Stan Lee was involved in that. Like that was the first animated thing. Like other than static
Our
com
man here, Connor, can probably tell us. Do you
is
know
that
the
is that true,
series
Con?
we're talking about?
I know of it. I've never seen it. I've definitely heard the song. I'm
Okay.
not really sure about Stanley's involvement. I'm sure he was involved with it. He's played a major role in all of Marvel's characters, or most of them anyway. Um, but I will say I'm not as knowledgeable about Marvel as I am DC.
Oh yeah.
Tom, did you know this? Actually, I have some slides on. I didn't know who's Marvel, who's DC, or whatever. I'm going to show you some of the. So, is this true?
Oh, I
There's
know. I know that stuff. I know enough to know
You
that stuff.
do?
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
Connor, is this true? Somebody on this Comic Vine, whatever their profile, they map Batman in DC to Iron Man in Marvel. I don't know if you would buy that mapping.
Well, it's a guy.
Um,
Can I just say something? It's a guy
Yeah.
who's it's a rich guy, an
With
industrialist.
high-tech toys.
Yeah, with high
Yeah.
tech toys, and he doesn't actually have superpowers,
Right.
but
So
he's got a
do
good
I
kit.
do I at least have the Marvel and DC thing right here?
yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
How about
Iron
this
Man
one? Do you buy this?
I've seen that before. I mean, color scheme wise, sure. I don't know about like, 'cause Superman is way more powerful than
Yeah, Superman is in a
Captain
class of
America.
his own.
Yeah, like I don't even know. Captain America didn't come from another planet, I don't think.
Yeah.
So maybe that one's more
Yeah.
marginal. somebody did this. What's the DC mapping of Spider-Man if one exists? This person suggests Dick Grayson, who I don't even really know.
Like that we're talking about like these two are potentially like kind of the DC version of the Marvel
A
character and vice
little
versa.
bit, a little bit. You
I
buy
don't know
that?
about that one. Maybe like Spider-Man Robin.
And then I didn't know about Black Cat. Is there a Catwoman version in Marvel?
I believe actually Catwoman came first and then Black Cat was added after her creation.
Okay. 'Cause I'm so not into this that I didn't even fully appreciate this massive split in the dogma, if you would, like the two different schools. But oh my God, we could go through some of my AI stuff.
What
Check
is that right there with the
this,
tiny
this,
things?
this. I said, okay, I'll run you through some of my stuff. I just started shamelessly trying to get Conor McGregor and Spider-Man into stuff. So I said, Spider-Man and Conor McGregor riding a bicycle built for two along the River Thames. And this is what it comes up with. It is
There's
brilliant, except for no Conor McGregor at
You've
all.
got the bike built for two Spider-Man, but the second
So then I was like, what's going on? I was like, well, maybe this deep AI won't do Conor McGregor because they're afraid of his agent or himself. So I said, okay, can I get him to do Conor McGregor? I said, Conor McGregor eating spaghetti. There he is.
Yeah.
That worked. And then I said, okay, what about Spider-Man? How far can I push that? And I said, Spider-Man in green and gold, smoking a wee pipe in an Irish meadow. I tried to push the what you call it, the trademark. So this is Spider-Man drinking a Mountain Dew in front of the Statue of Liberty.
it looks like he's drinking it upside down though.
He's drinking
Yeah.
out of the ass end of the cup.
Yeah.
And I think his hand is backwards too.
It is. It is. But look at it how overall, and this comes, boom, 7 seconds. It's weird. I'm glad to hear you say it's kind of entertaining that you must have. I spent,
It's a really fun toy, is what it
yes,
is.
exactly. I tried to get Spider-Man to fight Conor McGregor.
That does not look like Conor McGregor.
It's not Conor McGregor. I don't know who it is, but I tried again. Conor McGregor fighting Spider-Man.
That's so weird.
It's a total
And I mean,
hallucination.
Spider-Man t-shirts on the crowd in
Yeah,
the background
and
for
he's
no
got a
reason.
random finger sticking off at right angles.
Yeah, yeah, and just a floating head.
Yeah, Undaunted. I tried again. This one is very disturbing.
See,
Yeah,
that's Connor wearing the Spider-Man mask.
Yeah,
That's part of the issue here is he
and
is
it's merging
Oh,
with his
but
ear too.
I like your theory, Tom. It's Connor is Spider-Man, so you can't see them both in the same room at the same time, sort of.
Yeah, like on that
More like
bike.
he's absorbing Spider-Man because he's like half of him isn't. What is that on the front of his shirt there? It's like, is that writing of some kind?
Yeah, it looks vaguely Korean.
Like I'm wondering, like maybe, like did they try to put his tattoo on the Spider-Man suit or something?
I asked it to do Conor McGregor doing a superhero art in Toronto.
Okay.
Two CN
That's
Towers.
actually, I mean, I like the choice of the artwork, of course.
Yeah, I tried again.
That's a little better. Although he's got like that average, like typical looking sort of Marvel suit on with a half Batman mask. Obviously you got to show his orange hair.
And he's way worse at
It's
drawing
the
than you are.
worst drawing. I'm kind of surprised that AI made him draw something terrible.
I know.
You'd think the painting would be spectacular.
He's so bad. At least he has the pen. And they got one CN Tower this time. But
Yeah,
okay,
they got
now
the one.
here we might have to wrap it up. I'm glad to have fun with this. This is actually beautiful to look at. And
That's pretty good. Yeah. Yeah, they gave him something good, actually.
yeah, and then this I kind of like. He's drawing a superhero, like in his cartoon sort of style.
Yeah, that one's actually not so bad.
And
It looks
then
kind of appropriate.
And then this one is sort of probably what I'll use for the thumbnail.
Yeah, I saw that one earlier. That one's cool.
Yeah, so like it's
Although I will say the beard is popping out of the cover.
it is that. Oh my
Yeah.
God, there's some weird hallucination. Yeah, there's actual hair on this comic book.
Yeah. It does not match the drawing at all. It's so
And
weird.
I like it's called like I don't know what it is. It's
Yeah, I don't know what it's supposed to be.
It's
I'm
got
actually kind of shocked that it got the writing
Canner,
semi-accurate. I mean,
Canor,
normally
yeah,
I get it got McGregor right. I mean,
yeah.
it's his spelling of the name, not mine, but um I have never seen it get letters
One,
right.
two.
Not even at all, but like except for just now.
But anyhow, this was just me playing around because you're the real deal, and AI's not. I had a blast playing with those things, but
Mhm.
yeah, it's not art. You said it. The AI needs you. It needs not just you, but
Yeah.
every other person that's ever drawn something. I like in talking to you, you still have an avenue that's very personal. I think I won't take any more of your time. This is awesome. I cannot vouch for the quality of what got recorded, but I thank you for the quality of what you put into it. The reason I am talking to you today is my friend here, Tom, said, we should get a Conor McGregor in here, man. Could he talk? And you did, and it's actually
Yeah.
pretty cool. So I thank you for playing along with that. And
Yeah, you didn't get the Conor McGregor, but
yeah, we
you
did.
could.
At the end of the day, it's comic graphic artist Conor McGregor, two N's, one A, from Toronto, and then that'll be the final billing. Okay, well, thanks a lot, and I
Thank you,
got it.
Connor.
Thank you again for having me.
Okay.
This has actually been very, very fun for me.
Talk to you later.
Have a great day, guys.
Yeah, bye.
Bye-bye.
Tune in again, dear listener, as the Caustic Rebels address mysteries from black holes to Bob Dylan.
Well, a wrecking ball is swinging, ringside bells are ringing. The fat lady, she's singing, but I ain't done, no, I ain't done in the traffic.